You're now listening to Just Sex Talk. Now let's get to talking.
So why do people get into these kind of dynamic master-slave?
There's a multitude of different reasons. I think people that identify as dominant and submissive, that they teeter enough on the scale that they can individually identify as that. The more that they can cognitively identify it, I think is the better they have, or the better chances they have of doing it correctly.
Do you think they have like mental issues from being young, or?
No. I look at my past, and I didn't grow up in an abusive house. I didn't feel neglected. My parents loved me. I felt loved by them. I wasn't beat. I wasn't abused.
Do they still love you? Or like, damn,
But
our son's a
that's
weird
why
motherfucker?
you're. But that's why you're not a submissive.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the case either. I don't think the trauma has anything to do with whether or not you choose to be dominant or submissive. I think that's
You
your
just
natural
are.
characteristics.
Yeah.
And identifying that, I think everybody varies on it. Everybody is dominant and everybody is submissive. But are you dominant to the point to where when you look at your entire life and the roles you've played in it and what you do, can you look back on it going, I've been in a dominant role my entire life?
You
And
say it's your natural characteristics, but people are creatures of their nurturing environment. So
I'm not saying it didn't have any influence on it.
Yeah.
So
But my sister and I grew up in the same amount of house, and you would think it'd be one polar opposite on the other, but
because your
Are y'all both-
perception
are y'all both
is
dominant.
I would say that she's dominant, very much a brat, but still dominant. But
Yeah.
little sister, so I get that right.
Yeah.
But
you can both be in the same environment but perceive it differently, and your perception is your reality. So
true.
maybe you're perceiving it as a wonderful environment, but they're perceiving it as restrictive and.
I think trying to get into the variables that could cause people to be more influenced in one direction or the other, the variables are just too extensive. What I've been studying in psychology and what brought me onto the basis of starting this clinic has been studying human sexuality. And the variables that come into play between traumatic to experience to social expectations to religious expectations, raisings, all these things play into variables. And you can look for all the reasons why you may identify as a dominant or submissive. But my first question would be, is you have a conflict with how you're identifying? That if you think you should be a dominant but you feel submissive, or do you think you should be submissive but you're a dominant? That I will tell you, one of the biggest social influences that exist out there is that dominant submissive does not know gender. It has nothing to do with gender at all.
I know that one.
Social influences put that a lot of pressure on there.
Yeah.
But for every male that's out there, the expectation of them to be a dominant or to be a top, because that's what social says that we're supposed to do, couldn't be further from the truth. In the same way as looking at a submissive or as a female and saying you need to be submissive because that's social expectations. It has nothing to do with femininity. It has nothing to do with masculinity. There are traits that contribute in both those, but that doesn't mean it's independently set to that. But social influences for a male to come in and to identify as submissive, it's better, but it's still not where it should
Chris,
be.
you can do that.
But it's not where it should be. It's better. I mean, I've been in this thing long enough to where I've seen where kink and BDSM was a thing you kind of hid in some coding on your profile so nobody ever knew anything about it because you didn't want to freak people out and you didn't bring out the floggers or the toy bags or cuffs and people that freak you. To where now it's more socially acceptable. The same thing with coming in with male submissives. The same thing with coming in with male bisexuality. Mm-hmm. Bisexuality doesn't know gender. It doesn't care if you were born a female. That doesn't make it mean you're going to be bisexual or not. Being born a male doesn't mean you're going to be bisexual or not. That has nothing to do with it. But the more socially acceptable it's been, we will actually see people that have always been submissive or bisexuality coming out.
Yeah.
Do you see people that may start as one and change?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the variations on it can determine between your time, experience, knowledge, as well as your environment.
Do you put them in uniforms and collars?
Collars, yes.
Collars?
I did try uniforms. So when I first started one of my first time I had all my submissives live with me at one time. I had 2 collared submissives
I put
living on
my
the same
employees
roof.
in uniforms. Does that make me the dom and there's a submissive?
No, it would definitely
Put
make it a
this
submissive
uniform
one.
No.
But at one point in time, I was trying to get some uniformity in the house, so I actually debated over doing uniforms.
You should give them all In-N-Out burger uniforms. Like, oh my
Yeah, no, I thought about
In-N-Out
scrubs,
burger.
but you know how expensive scrubs are? It was just ridiculous.
They are really expensive.
It was because I had one that worked from home and the one that left for work every day. So the one that worked from home, stayed in comfy clothes. And the one that left for work today, we had a business office, so she'd come back. Well, everybody would come home and let's go get dinner. Well, I got one that's dressed up and one that's dressed down. The one that's dressed up wanted to get in comfy clothes.
And the
And
one that
now
was
we're dirtying
comfy
up
wanted
another
to
set of
dress
clothes.
up.
And
Okay.
yeah, so it kind of went back
Yeah.
and forth. So I'm like, all right, we're going to do a uniform. So I'm not taking two people out dressed completely the opposite. I'm like, I'm just going to dress what
Should look like Mormon.
Just gonna dress you.
Oh, one of them was Mormon. But it's what do you want to do? I mean, it's really sit down to the dynamic in the house and the structure, and everybody's got to say so in it. So it depends on your partner. What would you want to do? So in your house, do you have a normal set of clothes you wear now? I mean, whether you're in a dynamic or not, these are still negotiations you can have with your partner. More people are in power exchanges than openly acknowledge
I
it.
make the women in my
Yeah,
house
no.
be naked
And
in
the
butt
more
plugs.
you talk about it, the more I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But that's where people are dominant and submissive. Most compatibility factors in the fact that where people that are more dominant are more compatible with people that are more submissive. Most relationships, when they're like, oh, I want to do 50-50, bullshit, you go ahead and have that. You mean
I don't
50% of the
want to.
time you're fighting, the other 50% of the time you're trying to think about fighting.
Yeah.
When you get two people that are struggling for the power, because neither one wants to accept it, this is my responsibility, this is your responsibility. You take care of this, I take care of this. You stay in your court, I stay in mine.
There can't be 6 leaders.
No.
Right.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
So if you had two submissive women, right, like in the situation that you were talking about,
Yes.
do you let them try and resolve that conflict together, or do you tell them what that decision?
All right, so there's a quote.
I love that he loved that question.
I mean,
One of
that's
the-
the first thing that came to my head was like, oh, I know
One
how
of
this would go.
the types of lifestyles that exists out there by his definition is called Gorean.
What is it called?
Gorean?
Korean?
Gorean.
Oh,
With a G.
Korean.
Gorean.
It's written off the books of Gore. It's fantasy books, the paperback. Mom kept the novels on, but it's the books of Gore. They've taken the lifestyle that's described in the books and people incorporate that, and it's very similar to the MS lifestyle. But one of the quotes on there that one of my previous girls' friends used to always say, because she loved quoting the books, was that a master does not bother themselves with squabbles between slaves. To me, my goal is peace in my house. If it's an issue between my submissives, they need to go sort it out. If I got to come in to play mediator, I will. But just like me telling my kids, you're probably not going to like it if I got to get involved.
Yeah.
Got
Because
it.
everybody's going to lose, but it's going to get done. But
Sometimes you gotta do it though.
so it's
Do your subs have sex with each other?
have.
And then it's like,
Because
okay,
you wanted them to, or because they wanted
No,
to?
no. See, that's one of my house rules, or one of my personal rules, is I do not enforce sexual activity.
Oh, okay.
No. Voyeuristic. So identifying as a dominant that will have two female submissives. That's just the existence of it. And identifying as a heterosexual male, I do not require my female submissives to be bisexual.
Okay.
Matter of fact, my first two girls who living on the same roof were both straight. They chose to explore bisexuality on their own accord, not because I prompted. I
Because
do.
how much more fun would that be?
you
You know?
didn't leave hidden
Right?
messages anywhere?
Exhausting, okay?
He
Go
said
ahead and put-
exhausting.
So it first started off that the girls had their room, and I let them decorate their room. The rest of the house was mine. So I had my bedroom. It was not theirs. It was mine. So it started off that one would sleep in my bed and one would sleep in the girls' room. So they would rotate out. It's fucking exhausting. And I would have one night a week that I would, keep to myself. We didn't like that, so I ended up moving another bed into my room, and then one got chained to the bed and one slept on the other bed, and that rotated out. That got exhausting. Sounds great and grand, but it can get exhausting. My requirements for my partners are that they be voyeuristic and exhibitionists. So I don't care whether or not you want to have relations with my other partner. That's something individual relationships, discuss that on its own. But you will be okay with my engagement with my other partners in your presence.
Have you ever had them where they cannot stand each other? They're literally both just for you, but though they do not get along, they do not like each other.
I have had submissives in consideration that had in that conflict. But to me, I will not take away from my house. I will not take away from what I have for what I don't have. So if you can't get along with the people in my house, you're probably not going to be around my house very long.
Yeah.
And it's not that you got to be best friends. But I do require what I call a sibling relationship between them, that y'all can bicker, you can go back and forth with each other, that's fine. Just going to have peace. But I don't force relationships. I don't force sexual activity. Once the consent's negotiated on there, and if they are partners, then that's different stories on that one. But I don't, no. But the being okay with in front of and around, that was a requirement, because I'm not going to have that restriction where I'm not going to hold back what I do with one partner because my other partner's present.
How do they communicate with each other? Like, how would they?
Well, sometimes they text. And
They
phone,
write letters?
the little thing right there.
Well,
They're like, hey.
if they have issues.
With notes?
I mean, as you would with anyone else. This is not.
Do they write down their feelings and they share it?
Sometimes they have.
Yeah.
They've done letters. They've wrote out letters. I put them in the corner. I've chained them to each other. That's fun.
Put them in one big
funny.
T-shirt and make them hold hands
Yeah,
and look
like
at a
we
picture
It's
of
so
them
much-
together smiling.
What you do is you chain them together with one arm and one leg with each other, and then you put down a set of crops over in the other room, and you tell them to go defend themselves.
Oh God, I love that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I could get behind
We did it
that
with
one.
5 of them.
What if they just teamed up and started
Do you
beating
just stand there like this?
Then they're not my submissives.
Not anymore.
That'll happen once.
Not anymore.
Just one time.
So what do you ever get like a power trip?
Yeah, that's not an uncommon. Keeping things in check. A lot of it's more of adapting and understanding. That I won't own weak. Being submissive has absolutely nothing to do with your character of whether or not you are a strong, independent person or anything along those lines. In fact, the stronger you are, your willingness to be
I was
submissive.
going to say, I think a truly submissive person's got to be pretty confident. And,
Absolutely.
And got to be,
Yeah, someone that comes in that identifying as submissive, there are people that do it, that have been weak and been pushed over and then try to take on the role of submissive, hoping that that would give them the stability they've come in. It's very dangerous. I don't support it. And part of learning to be a submissive is learning the confidence to grow and to take pride in that. That what better to say that I am this strong that I can give this authority to this person, that person having that authority is would I rather have a Volkswagen sitting in my garage? It works. I push the buttons, it does the things, but it's not very strong. It's not very lavish. It doesn't do a lot of things. Or would I rather have a Ferrari sitting in my garage? To me, that's strong, powerful, independent. It's got everything underneath the hood. It's just more powerful I am. I mean, it's under my control.
So I guess explain like a good sub and a bad sub, a good slave and a bad slave. Like someone's looking for someone like that. What would they not? What are some flags? Because I think there could be some masters out there that would just want they just want to be
Tops.
but they don't really give a fuck about the person.
Yeah,
and then the slave just for their own, and they just want to be slaves. They don't really give a fuck about the master. They just.
I think people that are coming in you're coming in and do it for the wrong reasons. There are people that identify.
How do I find those flags? Or
You have to just experience it.
A lot of it is having
So
the
got
open.
the answers for you.
calm down, Marilyn Monroe.
It's better than Queen Laquifa.
It's having open-ended conversations and looking for red flags. So one of the things about engaging in any type of dynamic is you're going to have discussions, and they're going to go into depth that you probably have never had in any relationship in your life. I mean, 10 to 15 years worth of relationships, and sit there and was working with a couple. We started going through them negotiating a scene, and I gave them a list of questions they needed to ask, and it wasn't questions they'd ever asked each other. Like, what's your triggers? How do you do when you're triggered? What are things that are triggered? I want to hear about your past trauma that you had growing up, and then what you don't know about. Let's see what we can find. I want to know how you handle it when you freak out, when you lose your shit. What are you claustrophobic? What medications you're on? How often you take medications? Family history. These types of questions are going to determine how the scene's going to go.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're claustrophobic is going to be a big determination of what type of bondage I'm going to put you in. Whether or not I can blindfold you. What you do when you freak out.
Putting this bucket over your head.
I need you to trust that if we get into a situation that you're going to tell me all your triggers. So triggers are things you're aware of. Like, I don't like guns. I don't like being tied up. I need my hands free. I like being blindfolded. These things, that they trigger me. Don't yell at me. Don't call me names. Don't do this. We discussed that. And that's up for the negotiations. But we always have to be aware that there's things called landmines. And when you find a landmine in a scene, that means you didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. But we ran across it and it went south. So when you and I experience, it is. But when you've run across it, so a scene that was going on that I actually just happened to be witness on, where somebody found a landmine. They were having an impact scene, and that person being slapped on the back got slapped on the back and turned around and clocked the top, like punched them. Not thinking about it. Instant knee-jerk reaction. Ran across a landmine, was triggered, went instant reactive. Now, everything came down once he realized what happened. You know, it wasn't like a fist fight broke out. But the point is how that dominant or how that top and how that bottom responded and reacted. Those are situations you learn in that. And once you go through those situations, then that's a level of trust that you've been, because I know what this person's like. I don't just trust this person to do what needs to be done when I freak out. I know what's going to happen because it did. And I trust them now, and it's a trust that you can only get by experience that you really hope nobody ever gets the hard way. But when you're coming into these types of scenes and doing this types of play, you have to expect it's not when it's going to happen, or it's not a matter if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And how you embrace that is a bigger bond that you're going to get with your partner coming through that, because you know.
Any more master slave questions? I want to get into leatherworks.
My thighs are cold.
Your what's cold?
I feel how cold I am.
Oh, because you're naked.
I'm not naked.
Kind of.
No, I'm not naked.
Oh, rubber.
Get out. Don't touch me.
She already told you that's not her.
That's my goal.
I thought it was coming for me. It was like, hey.
It was like this.
It's creeping out.
It's creeping out. We're into me. I'm like,
Just Sex Talk is fueled by the haters and recorded live at the Lifestyle Nation studio in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. We hope you enjoyed the show. If not, then this show just isn't for you, and no hard feelings. To experience more shows, go to JustSexTalk.com. And to contact the show, send an email to JustSexTalkPodcast@gmail.com.